Hey, folks, we're live, but this is the pre-show only. We've got 4 minutes after the top of the hour instead of 4 minutes and 26 seconds. And we go live on our new station, subspace.radio. I will start this stream in just a minute here. How's everybody tonight? Field guy, how you doing? Good to see you. All right. Let's see. Do I actually have my banner fixed? Let me show that. I got to make sure I've got... that's the wrong banner because I'm on a different radio station now. There's that. There's that. Do I have my branding overlay done? I do not. See, I've got that for Sunday morning. How about that? Let me see what I got over here. This is all in getting set up for tonight. I forgot all about this part. Let's see. This is called overlay. This is the mundane of just getting set up. Overlay. I don't even know where that is in here. Oh, what's that? It's half the problem is finding it. Intrepid Radio overlay. Intrepid Radio. That's the wrong one. Sigh. I know I've done different ones since that. It's Sunday. Overlays. I don't think that's the right file. Nope. Let's see. Animated overlay. You'd think this stuff would be really easy to find on my computer, and it's not. Overlay. Overlay presets. None of that is it. What time we got? I got 1 minute. Ain't going to happen tonight. So we'll just go without an overlay tonight. How about that? Because we started 4 minutes after. Now, one question I didn't ask Russ is if I fire up the stream ahead of time and it automatically picks me up at 9:04. I think that's the way it works. So we're going to hit the stream button. There's the stream button. Boom. All right. And we're going to bring that down. I know this is scintillating radio, but you're in the pre-show, not the actual show. So we're coming. Hey, everybody. We got about 7 seconds and we go live. So I'm going to go dark. Be right back.
Are you looking for a really awesome and amazing graphic designer? How about an illustrator or a photographer? This is Rainey Roberts, and I wanted to tell you how you can get my designer, illustrator husband, Scotty Roberts, to work for you on your project. Do you have an awesome self-published book but no cover, or even worse, a cover that really sucks? Do you need a kick-ass logo for your company or some f***ing awesome graphic designs for your ads or website? Then get in touch with my husband for the best f***ing awesome kick-ass design and illustration. He knows his stuff, and he's been at this for more years than I've been alive. Go to ScottAllenRoberts.com. That's Scott with 2 T's, ALANROBERTS.com to take a look at his online portfolio of work, or call 651-468-8115. Now go out and kick some ass with some kick-ass graphic design.
Hire my dad so he can take me to Disneyland.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.
Well, good evening, everybody. Happy Monday evening. Here we are for the first time broadcasting on Subspace Radio. And you can go check out Subspace Radio at subspace.radio and see the goodness that's there. You can check out the schedule, the lineup that's there so far. And it's good to be here. And by the way, there might be a couple of little things going on tonight. My monitor doesn't seem to be working to hear sound coming through. So I hope you all are hearing me well. It looks like I'm absolutely peaked out over on the radio station. So if I drop my mic levels down to there, these settings are a little different. And we didn't run a test today. It's all the same software, all the same everything. It's just a little different, the setup here. So hopefully we're not peaking out and going. So if the sound is great, thank you very much, Rudy Kessler, for pitching in over there in the chat room. Folks, if you are listening live via audio over at subspace.radio, you can also come over to the YouTube channel where you can join our chat room of fellow Intrepids. And that is where you can join the chat room itself. And you can converse over there and see the video simulcast of this show. And you can also check out our Facebook page over at Scotty Roberts. You can see it at Subspace Radio, and you can see the simulcast also over on the Intrepid Radio page. And there's a couple of other places to do it. We'll get some of the kinks worked out to make sure that everything is flowing well over at the new radio station and that all the settings are right. Apparently it's working all right. So I just have no feedback on my monitor, which is a little different. We'll have to check that out tomorrow. But welcome to the program. I appreciate the fact that you're here. And look at this. I got a little over here, like that little bit. There's a blue light up there, and it casts a little blue light. I thought it was looking rather Star Trek-y, like the old series. You know how the original series, it was all lit up, but then it had like a purpley light coming in, or a red light, or a blue light, or something like that. So I like the colored gels like that. And so it'll give us a little nice little colors. We get more and more set up here in the studio. And so hello to everybody in the chat room. Michelle Canham Free, Remeldian, Field Guy, Steve Clark, Rudy Kessler, Matt Finn, Master Finn, we like to call him, master and commander of this here chat room. And Sarah Youssef, good to see you. Steve Clark. Who else am I missing? Nobody else. I hope Dave Potter, Uncle Dave, is here. And Rudy Kessler. And I'm just scrolling through, just saying hi. Welcome to the new network. Roger Rabbit, good to see you. And that might be it so far that I'm seeing showing your face over in the chat room. And so you'll also have to let me know if in these digs you're catching any of the family up there. As you know, if you're new to the show, because you're watching on Subspace Radio, you do know that this show, love you too, Michelle Cannon-Free. Thank you very much. And you know how we sometimes get familial interludes. Well, I think there's an upside and downside to the new studio at the new house here. The upside is that it's far away from everybody's bedrooms. They're all upstairs on the main floor. And so for them to come down here, they would have to come all the way downstairs, which both the girls seem to be afraid of the downstairs. None of them will come down here by themselves unless cajoled or bribed with money. So there's the upside. The downside is that we have not as many familial interludes will take place. So we might not see as much of the kids. So they just had a 4-day weekend off of school, and so they are all taking baths and getting showered up here. There, I hear all that going on. So how is it in your home? That's what's going on here tonight. And I wanted to have Russ on tonight, the owner of Subspace Radio. You know Russ. He used to be the owner over at Odyssey Radio, then was bought out. And so now he started Subspace Radio. We are looking at the possibility of also starting. How many of you remember Intrepid magazine? That is where Intrepid Radio actually got its start. Even though I'd done radio under different names, that came off of Intrepid magazine. Any of you ever subscribed to Intrepid magazine? That came out right after I left the Ghost Hunters magazine, TAPS Paramag, as their editor-in-chief in 2010. I immediately launched Intrepid magazine, which were kind of all the ideas that I had brought as editor-in-chief over to TAPS Paramag, but we could never quite get implemented over there. They were strictly a fanzine for the one show, for Ghost Hunters on television. And I said, we could take this magazine and expand way beyond this. But we were still rebuilding TAPS Paramag, and we just never quite got there. And so once I was done over at TAPS Paramag, I had resigned and said, look, I'm going to start my own thing. I went over and I launched Intrepid magazine, which is what we did. And you can find some of the back issues and all of that over at, I'm going to give you a link. I didn't plan this ahead of time, but if I were to look for, let's see, it's Intrepid magazine. Let's see how I've got it listed over there. I'm going to see if I can find the site. That's Substack. That's not it. MagCloud. It's over at a site called MagCloud. And I'm going to give you a link here. And if you are listening on the radio and you want to see what Intrepid magazine used to look like when we were publishing, you can go here. Boom. There is Intrepid magazine, which will stay the same name. Been talking with Russ about relaunching Intrepid magazine and into a print magazine that you can subscribe to and order and have it delivered to your home. So we'll see how that all goes. You can take a peek over there. There's back issues available. They're really nice back issues. As a matter of fact, I had one sitting here. I know you've all heard about Intrepid magazine. There it is. Hang on. It's over here. Let me find it. There it is. All right. This is Intrepid magazine. You may have seen this cover. This is the one with John Ward on the cover. And this was to give you an idea how long ago we did, this is the January 2014 issue. And we had the ad for our book on the back cover, and it was square bound, which was nice. But, this gives you an idea of what this magazine looked like and how we published. We did a digital issue, and then we started releasing them in print like this. And so this gives you an idea. This was an article on Raymond Buckland by Cassidy O'Connor. We had, I did an article on Sentiment back then. That's when the book was first coming out. And when we did the Exodus Reality, one on John Ward and a little bio on him. So you can see that is how this particular magazine looked. And maybe it's just looking white. It looks washed out when I look at it on the screen over there. But that gives you an idea. The magazine had that kind of a look to it. And so we're working on this together. And hopefully we'll see this get republished and start getting back into the magazine business again. So working with Russ is going to be a lot of fun. This was an article by Larry Flaxman and Marie D. Jones on time travel was in this particular issue. And so all sorts of fun stuff in here. So working with Russ is going to be very interesting over here at Subspace Radio. We've got a couple of other things up our sleeve and some things that we want to do. And so I hope you want a signed copy, Grumpy Stack. Let's get them. Well, once we get them printed and going, I'll make sure you get one. So looks like a few blank pages in between. Nothing blank in here, Field Guy. It's the lighting here. It just kind of washed everything out. If I hold that up a little closer, there you can see the text on all the pages. And so it was a pretty fun magazine to put together, and had a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, those aren't blank pages, just washed out from the lights. So there you go. It averaged about 75 to 80 pages, something of that, every issue. You want to build that DeLorean one of these days? Good luck. Go back in time and give yourself lottery numbers so you have money. So tonight, we're going to get back into Celtic mythology a little bit. And you know what I think I'm going to do? Now that I'm over here on Subspace Radio, I have said this show is not about politics. But I might step back in a little bit now and then and do a little more politics than I've done. And by politics, I don't mean politicking. I mean talking about government, the state of our country from the point of view, my political ideological point of view, which is an independent conservative. And so we might do a little bit more of that. Step that up just a little bit without going too far into it. I never want this show to be pigeonholed just as a political show, because I want to do other things here like we've always done. But I want to stay relevant when it comes to politics. So we'll see what we can drum up and how we can make that go. Not to get anybody mad or hot under the collar because of their politics, or to step on anybody's feet except those that need stepping on. I think we need to be active participants in what's going on in our nation. And right now, I was just talking to KB and on KB Morning Coffee with Ken Ballos this morning. The Castle in the Sky, Castle by the Roadside, Grumpy Stack. And we were talking this morning about several different topics like we always do. And we always get around to talking certain political issues and things like that. And I said, you've noticed how the left in general has redefined what being a patriot means. And this came out about a year ago, maybe a little bit more, that this new definition of patriot now has this negative twinge to it. It's being defined as somebody who is a nationalist, somebody who promotes nationalism. If you look it up, I think you can even look it up unless they've changed it. Patriot. Let's see what the definition says here. Patriot. Definition and meaning by Merriam-Webster. One who loves and supports his or her country. You know what? That's changed. Because some of the definitions I was seeing as of about a year ago were telling us that a patriot was somebody who borderlined national terrorist, homegrown terrorist. And just as we've seen the current administration redefining things lately, when Trump was in office, the media and others started to redefine what it meant to be a patriot. Because to be a patriot means you love your country and you put your country first. That was being redefined. It was not the emphasis anymore. So I believe that there's absolutely nothing wrong with being an American citizen and putting America first. Your country is first. Are we citizens of the world? Yes. Do we live in a one world government? No. Right now, I believe that when you are a citizen of this country, if you are putting our efforts as a politician or somebody in office into other countries, and that we're sending our money to other countries and supporting people in other countries, even small amounts. Did you know that our country this last year now this is a very small amount on the grand scheme of governmental spending. They put $20,000, only $20,000, but they put it into, it wasn't Venezuela. What country was it in South America? Bolivia or something like that. They put the $20,000 into having people train and figure out the best way to teach grade school children with transsexual dancers and what do they call that? Drag dancers. And I thought, why are we spending $20,000 on that? Now, without getting into, I wasn't going to talk about that issue in particular, but when you think about the things that we need to be spending money on, what do you do with this country and with our spending from $20,000 to $20 billion? Where do we put that money? We have to put it into interests, the things that, are American interest. I get that. But what could we do with some of the dollars that we put overseas and into other countries that we could spend here and take care of our own veterans, take care of our own homeless situations? I've always said that people perceive conservatives to be, they're heartless. They don't want to help people. I wholly disagree. I have been in situations as a conservative where I have needed governmental help to make sure my kids had food on their table, things like that. And you know what? Those things exist for people who are in need of those things. Nobody in this country should fall through the cracks. But when we have people falling through the cracks and we have problems at home, we have gas crises at home, we have all the things that you see going on right now, why are we sending billions of dollars overseas to other nations for other purposes? This is where I believe America first, nationalism. We're not talking nationalism like they try to define nationalism under the way Adolf Hitler did it in the Third Reich. That's not what we mean by nationalism. Nationalism and putting country first is a very different thing than that. So I am all for anybody who is a patriot, who wants to put their nation first, America first. Take care of our own first before you start taking care of other countries. It's like, you ever ridden on a plane, flown on a plane? What do they tell you? If the masks are needed and they come down, always put yours on first before you help the next guy. Because what if you're helping somebody else and you end up passing out because of lack of oxygen? So there is my thinking on that. There's nothing wrong with being a patriot. There's nothing wrong with supporting an America first agenda. And I have no problem with the United States helping other people, but not when we are in crisis, not when we have homeless, not when we have veterans that are not getting taken care of. And that's just a couple of issues, to name a few. If you want to qualify the things I just said as political talk, then I think you would be wrong-headed about that. That's not politics. That is talking about our current events, talking about how politics affect our current events. And then all I would put out there for you, I might promote my own candidates on this show, but I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you, you can vote your conscience, but make sure your conscience is lined up with the facts, lined up with what is the right thing to do. And stop. I said it when Trump was running for president. I remember saying to a lot of people, I'm not voting for him because he's the feel-good president. He's not going to give you the warm fuzzies and make you feel good about yourself or your gender, your sexuality, your whatever your particular thing might be. That's not why he's running. I said he's running to be the GSD president, the get shit done president. And, all those other things will fall into place and take care of themselves if you have a country that's run well and sees to it that its people are taken care of first and follows the Constitution and does what the Constitution spells out our nation should be doing and our forms of and our branches of government and so on. So there you go, guys. Rapid Dog says they send money to foreign countries, and the foreign countries funnel it back to them after they take their cut. Both Republican and Democrat. Yeah, and that happens. And we know it happens. It happens every day. And this is where I think the whole draining the swamp issue came up in the last election. Scotty for president. Oh, there it is. Yeah. I have too many skeletons in my closet, but I talk about them all. So somebody couldn't bring up my skeletons and go, well, you know, that's Scotty Roberts who's running for president. Did you ever see his this and this? And I go, yeah, we talked about it on a radio show. So let's see. Wrench. Ember. Is it Amber? Wrench. I voted for Obama to be part of that history in making as well. Yeah, and there you go. We voted for who we believed was going to be the best person for the job. And then you have to look at what they did. You have to look at what their proposal. Like right now, I listen to a lot of news from all different sources. And I hear everybody on the left especially telling them what they're going to do. Or I listen to the president. I listen to the president talk about, the Republicans, they just want to scare you, and they're going to take away your this and that. And I'm like, can you tell us how that's going to work? Or we're going to fix the crime problem. Republicans don't want the crime problem fixed. They're throwing out things that aren't true, which is a political tactic. And if I were in some of those press conferences, I'd say, my only follow-up to that answer, which was a bunch of bullshit, could you tell me how you plan to do that? Well, just watch us isn't a good enough answer, because you know what? We are watching, and that's why we're very dissatisfied right now. Anyway, let's see. And yes, Amber is correct. Good to see you, Amber. I don't think I've ever seen you on the show before, unless it was under a different name. So I'm happy to have you here tonight. Thanks for being here. And we were going to talk about so much about current events, but I think every show now, we're going to do something with current events, because the closer we get, we're 2 weeks out from a major midterm election. And I'm hoping we see what we saw in the Clinton era, what we saw in 2010, where you see things completely turned over to keep that checks and balances in place. I would like to see that happen. Checks and balances are a good thing. You know why? Government grinds slow, and people are like, can't they speed up and make this? No. Legislation and government, Congress needs to grind slowly. And it was built with the purpose of making it slow. Why should it be slow? Because the longer it takes for certain bits of legislation to come down the road, the longer you get to hang on to your wallet. And some people go, oh, that's it. You're just worried about money. It's all money. No, it's about surviving. It's about, I don't make a lot of money. There's a lot of people I know that don't make a lot of money. I'm not rich. And some months we struggle to keep the lights on because it wasn't a good month. We go up and down. Everybody's got those ups and downs. I'm a typical middle American. And so when I say, I look at this and say government should grind slow, the government that grinds slow grinds the best. And smaller government doesn't need to have its hands in everything. This is part of why you saw the abortion issue get changed over by the SCOTUS. I keep seeing all these, I'm just going to call it like it is, all these liars out there that are talking about abortion. Oh, you aren't going to vote for the party that has taken away a woman's right to over her body. See, they've changed the language. No, they didn't take away a woman's right over her, make decisions over her own body. All the SCOTUS did, the Supreme Court of the United States, is they said abortion is not a federal issue. It's not what the federal government is supposed to take care of. It was never meant to be that, along with many other things. And so all they are doing is taking it out from under federal purview and putting it back to the 50 independent states where it belongs and where it should remain. I always compare this to remember the DOMA Act that came out a few years ago? Many very far right. You had the religious right. You had people on the right supporting DOMA, the Defensive Marriage Act. They wanted a constitutional amendment that would state that marriage could only be defined between one man and one woman. Poof, and that was it. That's what they were trying to amend the Constitution of the United States to state that. Now, you may believe that's right on a moral level, but that is not what the federal government is supposed to do. The federal government isn't supposed to tell you who you can and cannot marry, but the individual states can make their own laws regarding marriage. And that's why we are a union, a republic of 50 independent states. Abortion issue, and thank God the DOMA Act got shut down. Thank God Roe v. Wade got taken out of federal purview and abortion got put back to the states. That's the way it's supposed to be, folks. The government, if you start having the government take over every decision like that needs to be made and try to morph any medical thing that you want to do, any elective, any choice over your own body, any choice in marriage, you start putting that to the federal government, you're going to have a tyranny in not too long, because it doesn't take long for everything else to start going that way. So that's what I'm talking about. So, Amber says, is it true marriage came about to prevent slaves from marrying? I don't know for sure. I think that I don't know if there were laws that said I think a slave could get married, but it depended on what kind of slave master they had. If you're talking about American slavery, when we had black slavery in the 1800s, I think that marriage, I don't know that it was disallowed. I do know right up here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, at Fort Snelling, there is a room in the barracks, in the downstairs of the barracks. There's a room that was the room that belonged to Dred and Martha Scott. I think it was Martha, not Mary. Dred Scott. You remember the Dred Scott trial? It was where Dred Scott was a black slave who was owned by a white master north of the Mason-Dixon line, and that was supposed to be illegal. And he still lost the case. But his quarters are still, you can still go visit his quarters at Fort Snelling, historic Fort Snelling. What a great place. That's the same fort I mentioned when I talk about after the Dakota Wars in 1862, that the Dakota tribe, many of them were kept in a concentration camp on the river flats below the fort, from which they took 38 warriors and had them executed in Mankato. So, different story for a different day. So anyway, there we are. I wanted to give you just a little primer to pique your minds and your interest on the fact that there will be some more political talk on this show. Now, by the way, I've just got to double check something. I know our timing runs a little different on this show. Russ is saying I sound a little echoey. Now, that could be because my sound is up. Russ, if you will listen to this, I can totally blank out my sound like that. And I get feedback on the mic, but for some reason I'm not hearing it on my end tonight. Little technical talk with the owner of the station. So hopefully that echoey goes away but I'm not hearing any sound through my monitor. And so I've got it set that just so Russ knows we're connected. Our output device is my internal speakers. USB audio codec is this mic. So far, I think we're doing all right. But I did want to check. I think we are done at 9:15 8:55, which would be 10:55 out east. Because I've now have 9:35 p.m. I just wanted to see where he said we are on from 9:04. I have 55 minutes. That's it. So we go off air at 9:55. If I did that right, that's 56 minutes, I do believe. So anyway, we're on for another 20 minutes, 19 or 20 minutes. There we go. And so we're going to jump into our topic for tonight, which will be pretty easy to finish. I spent a lot of time on talking about the political front and the current events front. And by the way, for those of you, my international listeners, we have people in Barbados, we have people in Ireland, people in England, we have people in Australia and New Zealand, and smattered across Egypt and Europe. For those of you listening there, maybe some of the talk of the United States politic and current events isn't as interesting to you, but it should be, because mostly what the United States does affects the rest of the world. And I hope to see a big, big change in the way our country is running by the fact that we're hopefully going to have a red wave that will create a new checks and balances in government. And that hasn't existed for the Biden administration yet. I think they need to have to fight for what they want and prove that what they want is the best thing for the country. That's the way it was meant to be. Let's see that happen. So I wanted to give us a little primer, pique your ears for what we're the kinds of things we'll be talking about here on Subspace Radio. And that's, again, is subspace.radio. I think Russ is in the process of still building up this network. You can go see the schedule of shows that are on, and still signing new talent. And we're going to, like I said at the beginning, look into republishing Intrepid magazine as an arm of Subspace Radio. And we are also going to, we got a lot of other plans. Let's leave it there for now, because I don't want to talk out of turn here. So, hey, Pearson Castile from West Missouri. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to see her away, you rolling river. 'Tis 7 long years since I last saw her. Away, we're bound away, cross the wide Missouri. I had learned that song like in 3rd grade in the 60s. It was one of those classic American folk songs. So that's what I think of every time I see Pearson Castile, east southwest Missouri. So there you go. Let's hop into this for a couple of minutes on Celtic mythology, because that's what I said I was going to talk about. We're talking about some of the lesser gods and creatures. And the creatures from Celtic mythology, we ended with talking about the Sidhe and the Banshee. And we've gotten to the, I hope I pronounced this right, the Caerathnach. It's probably Caerthanach. The Caerthanach. There we go. And these Gaelic words sometimes don't trans well. Too many consonants. But the Caerthanach is thought by some to be the mother of the devil himself. She was the beast that St. Patrick chased away when he banished the snakes from Ireland, as the legend goes. And the stories tell that St. Patrick stood atop the mountain Croag, to expel not only the snakes, but also the demons of Ireland, to free the people. And one managed to escape him, the Corthanach, and he chased the beast through the mountains on horseback, riding the fastest horse in Ireland. And the chase was long, and knowing that St. Patrick would eventually need a drink of water, she continuously spit fire at him, while simultaneously poisoning every well she encountered. St. Patrick was able to resist drinking from the poison wells, continuing his pursuit of the beast despite being desperate with thirst, and he prayed for guidance which led him to Hawk's Rock, where he hid, waiting for the beast. And when she approached, he leapt from his hiding spot, banished the Korthanach with a single word, and the fiery creature disappeared into the ocean and drowned, leaving behind the Hawk's Well in Ireland, which you can still go see today. And what's interesting about this, by the way, if you're coming in on this series late in the game and you haven't heard some of the things we've been talking about here, hey, Josh Kemp, good to see you over in the chat room. We're talking about Celtic mythology, and I think it's important because understanding the Celts and understanding ourselves as human beings can really be rooted in knowing more about why our different cultures believe the things they did. There's Celtic mythology, there's Islamic mythology, there's Jewish mythology, there's Egyptian mythology, African mythology, Chinese mythology, Indian, as in dot no feather, as my friend Ruben Fasthorse would say. Not Native American I'm talking about, but the Native Americans have their own mythology. So there's all these different mythologies. And you will notice when you step back from them a bit, how similar many of them are to each other. And the things, when I was studying on the reptilians and the pervasive, the subtitle of my book on the reptilians was The Pervasive Presence of the Serpent Throughout Human History, Religion, and Alien Mythos. And you wouldn't believe how close many of these mythologies are when you start peeling off the differences and you look at them at the core. There's many of them are talking about the same things. Hey, Barbie D. Let's see. I have news. They were probed back. You'll see the results in a few days. Oh, might not be talking about what I thought you were talking about something else. Sorry about that. Yeah, Steve Clark, we need to get rid of all career politicians, period. Boom. I think there needs to be congressional legislation, by the way, that would limit the terms of people in Congress. 2 terms, done. I don't care. Bring in somebody inexperienced. That's what it's supposed to be like. You have a 3-inch thick book on Native American mythology, says Steve Clark. Yeah, it's just amazing. Again, Ruben Fasthorse and I wanted to write a book. I still talk about writing a book together on Native American blending with Celtic mythology. So interesting stuff. Then you have, let's move on. You have this beast called the Clurichan. Just like leprechaun, the Clurichan. It's a distant cousin, as a matter of fact, to the leprechaun. And sometimes it's seen as the nighttime version of the leprechaun because of the Clurichan's excessive love, you guessed it, of alcohol. Now, no offense to my Irish friends, but you do have a reputation. And so if you were to spot one of these Clurichan, he would likely be carrying a jug of ale in its hands. And due to their drunken state, they have a nasty temper. They also have the leprechaun's love of trickery and pranks, but their drunken demeanor can make them quite unpleasant in their games. And the Clurichan loves wine cellars and pubs and pretty much any area dedicated to alcohol drinking, the imbibing of alcohol. And if you're on the Clurichan's good side, they're avid protectors of the home and the wine cellar. They'll keep your wine cellars safe. I'm pretty sure you just have to sacrifice a bottle every now and then. And the goods will never spoil, in other words. And to be on the wrong side of the Clurichan means that everything from wine to food to milk will spoil without any explanation. So even moving house won't get rid of the Clurichan. They'll continue to harass until they've received adequate offerings and feel that they've been satisfied. It's like, Fat Tony O'Reilly, the Clurichan, he would be very happy should you make a donation to him and take care of him and recognize him. If not, you might find a little, the milk goes bad, the wine goes bad, the beef goes bad, it's just the way it is. Don't judge us. So anyway, yeah, then perhaps the mobsters of the Celtic creatures. Then you have the Dobarchu. The Dobarchu is the Irish equivalent to the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland. They're said to be half dog and half fish, making them quick in the water, capable on land. And this creature is massive, roughly 7 feet long, with a similar shape to the alligator. They mate for life. They travel with their mate everywhere they go. And if one is killed, it alerts its mate with a high-pitched death whistle, summoning its mate to avenge them from the depths of the water. We don't know a lot more about them. You wonder if some of the lake monsters we see, the lake creatures that we see in the United States, have anything relation to these beings. Or are they ancient dinosaurs? We don't know. How about the Doulahan? The Doulahan is the unseelie fairy family, appearing to its victims as a headless man riding a black stallion. He wears long, flowing black robes, and he carries his head beneath his arm. And the head is described as having a broad, unsettling grin, stretching from ear to ear. And as its eyes constantly move, seeking out its next victim. No matter how dark it is, the eyes can see far and deep into the darkness. While a banshee is the warning call of death, the Doulahan is death itself, stealing the souls of its victims by simply speaking their names. And he only stops riding when it's time to take a soul. And even looking at the Doulahan is dangerous. If you're lucky, you'll simply be doused in a bucket of blood. And if you're less fortunate, you're going to be blinded in one eye by his whip. Everything about the Doulahan is marked by death. His whip is made from a human spine. His wagon covering made from dried, worm-chewed human skin. The spokes of the wheels made from femur bones. To light the way forward, skulls lit by candles sit at the front of the wagon. And the only way to escape the Doulahan is by dropping a piece of gold in his path. No lock or gate will prevent him from getting to his victim as they spring open in his presence. His inexplicable fear of gold is the only way to prevent him from speaking your name, and thereby you incurring death. The Fear Dirg. Fear, like the word fear, Dirg, deer with the letter G at the end. Fear Dirg is another cousin of the leprechaun, but much more mischievous and often taken as a sign of incoming bad luck. The Fear Dirg, meaning red man, describes their choice in clothing, as they're typically depicted as clad in all red clothes, sometimes looking like a rat. They delight in practical jokes, but the jokes aren't really that very funny to humans, as they delight in replacing babies with changelings and tend to lean toward the grotesque and unpleasant with their pranks. And some have also linked the presence of a Feardirg to an increase in nightmares. Now remember, I am a firm believer in the elementals and the fact that there is a spirit realm. I'm a believer in the Fae. I'm a believer in the She and all of these things. These are all things, some of this stuff can be cultural folk tales, but most of these things I'm talking about are things that have gone back for thousands of years in Celtic mythology. The next one is the Kelpie. Steve says, where do the gremlins come from? I don't know exactly, Steve. I don't know where the gremlins start. I think they're Germanic, if I'm not mistaken, but that might be all I know, and might be all I know off the top of my head. I think they're just other elemental types of beings that, again, like the fairy folk, we've taken the fairies and turned them into these gossamer winged Tinkerbells in the Victorian age, and that's nothing at all of what the Fae are really like and all about. The Kelpies, their haunting Scottish shores is the Kelpie. Sometimes it appears as a beautiful horse or an elegant maiden. They use their beauty to seduce and attract their prey into the depths of the water, where they can kill and eat the victim. And in the form of a horse, the Kelpie wears a saddle and a bridle, tempting a rider to get onto their back before they become stuck. And the Kelpie dives deep under the water's surface. The only escape from a Kelpie is to gain control of its bridle. Being able to grasp onto the bridle gives the person command over the creature, and a captured Kelpie is 10 times more powerful than any horse on land. Even the Kelpie's bridle can impact its supernatural powers on a regular horse. Now we're getting close. We've only got a few minutes left, so we've got a couple of these left to go. And of course, what comes up now is the leprechaun. The leprechaun is the best known of Ireland's mythical creatures, sometimes being treated as a mascot for the country. Oh, me lucky charms. The pot of gold and all of that. Often they're associated with luck and wealth. The leprechauns are typically described as quite short, no more than 3 feet tall. They're mischievous, and unless you watch American Gods. That's all the more I'll say about that. They're mischievous. They're fun-loving little creatures. They're clever. They're quick-moving. They'll do everything they can to keep from being caught by a human. And they love a good party and are fantastic dancers and musicians. And leprechauns are often looked at as the kinder cousins to the clurichaun. They enjoy a good drink, but unlike the clurichaun, they're not so mean-tempered. And some associate the small creatures to cobblers, said to help a cobbler if he is behind on his work. Despite being cobblers, they're also associated with great wealth. And most of us have heard the legends of a leprechaun's pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Their love of gold is odd, given that they don't need to spend their gold. But one path of logic suggests that they could collect gold so that they can use the greed of humans against them, using the gold to cause mischief. And now there's a couple more that we haven't gotten to, and we've only got about 2.5 minutes left. There's the Murrow. It's a water-based fairy. There's the Puka, which is seen as both good and bad omens. The Selkies, which is watch an older movie now, The Secret of Rowan Inish, and you'll learn about the Selkies. We'll maybe hit these tomorrow night, but then we're going to get into the mythological cycle of the Celts and how all this stuff with the gods and the creatures all works together. And we'll do that probably tomorrow night, unless we veer and deviate onto something else. So we'll see how that all goes. We'll see how it works for tomorrow night. And maybe I'll have all my banners and things rolling the way they're supposed to be rolling. We've got 53.37 seconds. So we've got about 1:20 left, if I do my math right. Yep, about 1.5 minutes left. So I want to thank you for being here. Again, this is our first night over on Subspace Radio. You can find them at subspace.radio. Right after this show, after we have the breaks at the top of the hour here, we go right into the Captain's Cabin, the post-show. You can join us there. We take more calls. We let our hair down a bit. And I think it's enjoyable. We have other people call in, and we talk. We usually, Uncle Dave calls in, and Sarah Yusuf, and sometimes Professor Bauer, and sometimes some other people will call in. So if you want to make yourself available, you got nothing else to do, you want to stick around for the post show, we'll be taking off with that. So on that note, I just want to say good night to the radio audience, and everybody over in the chat room, stick around, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for a really awesome and amazing graphic designer? How about an illustrator or a photographer? This is Rainey Roberts, and I wanted to tell you how you can get my designer, illustrator husband, Scotty Roberts, to work for you on your project. Do you have an awesome self-published book but no cover, or even worse, a cover that really sucks? Do you need a kick-ass logo for your company or some f***ing awesome graphic designs for your ads or website? Then get in touch with my husband for the best f***ing awesome kick-ass design and illustration. He knows his stuff, and he's been at this for more years than I've been alive. Go to ScottAlanRoberts.com. That's Scott with 2 T's, AlanRoberts.com to take a look at his online portfolio of work, or call 651-468-8115. Now go out and kick some ass with some kick-ass graphic design.
Hire my dad so he can take me to Disneyland.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent Talk.
Hey, folks, we're back for the captain's cabin. I'm a little confused here right now. I'm getting no sound coming back through my monitor. So if you call in, I'm not sure if I'm going to hear you or not. For some reason, I'm in the same program I've always used to broadcast, but it's Subspace's version of the program. So I'm looking here for my settings to see what my audio is supposed to do. And I'm getting no sound at all. It's built in, internal speakers, built in. That's the default. I get nothing coming back in. Nothing there. Default, test. It says it's playing. I can't hear it. I do not hear myself. I show my mic settings, but I'm not getting any sound coming back in, and I'm not sure why that is. So I'm going to look at my sound settings internally. Internal speakers, bloody, 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 bloody. Sound preferences. It shows I've got sound coming in. And this is my that sound input. My microphone right here. My output is my internal speakers, but I'm getting nothing coming back in, and I show nothing for my sound. So that's interesting. Something's going on with my sound on my computer since earlier today. So while you can hear me, if you call in, I don't think I'm going to be able to hear you, at least the way it looks. But Field Guy, you have a way for making people leave? Who left because of you? Here's Grumpy Dog. Let's see if I can hear him. Grumpy, talk to me.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can't hear you. There's something with my settings that is not working here. I'm going to see if I get any kind of sound from anything else. Hang on there with me, Grumpy, and everybody else listening. I want to see if I pick up anything else through my speakers. Let's see. See, what do we got going? Nope. I'm getting absolutely no sound coming through my computer. So hang on there, Doug and audience. There's something afoot here, and I've got to figure out what it is. Let me look at yeah, I see a wave. Oh, I thought I saw you waving over there. Let me look and see if I hit something in my sound settings. Built-in speakers, that's what's on. There's no headset plugged into the back that I detect. Nothing. I'm showing no sound. Nicole, you can hear us. Hey, Nicole. She was with us at the ghost investigation, the ghost hunt the other night. Milky Way is here. Other people join us. Roger Rabbit. I know you can hear me. My mic is working. Isn't this a switch around? You can hear me, but for some reason, I'm getting no sound out of my computer, so I can't hear you. I can't hear Doug. Sorry, Doug.
Oh, well.
I can hear a word you're saying. But everybody can hear both. Oh, he left. So sorry about that, folks. There's Dave Potter. I'm assuming I'm going to have the same problem with Dave. Dave, I have no sound.
Really?
For reason. All my settings are on, but I'm getting no sound, so I can't hear you. So it's on my end. I wasn't getting any feedback from my monitor during the whole show either.
Can other people on the show hear what I'm saying?
But I couldn't for the life of me tell you what's up. It might be something glitched, and I might have to do a reboot to get sound.
Okay, you in the live chat, can you hear me?
I'm looking at my preferences here again. My sound says it's on.
Nicole, is that a yes to my question?
The speakers in the computer. It says the balance is set. The output volume is there. I hit the mute button. Nope. Show volume in the menu bar I've got. And so I already checked that out. So guys, I know this is scintillating radio, but I have no sound coming in. So taking calls tonight would be rather difficult. Plug in a headset. Yeah, I can try that. I was just thinking that too. Maybe if I plug in my headset, I might pick up something. So here, let's give that a shot.
Give it a shot.
And see what we get. I'm going to swing this around a bit.
While he's checking on that,
go to the back side of the computer. Which is an interesting place
to
put the
thing
plug
that was
in
going to happen on Thursday night is not happening.
I can hear you.
Today. Oh,
now
you can.
I can hear you, Dave.
Oh, excellent.
So now that's interesting. It's picking up my headset, but it won't pick up anything else. There's Field Guy. Let's bring Field Guy in too. How you doing, Fieldy?
I'm doing good.
Outstanding. What's going on?
Nothing much, but I had a problem to this solution, right?
Yes.
I would talk to Uncle Dave, or I would talk to Chat, and Chat would type in, translate it. Like if I said a point, it would type it in, and then you would respond to it. See?
I don't know, man. There it is.
Except the chat can hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I heard what Doug
and
was
the chat
saying.
Can hear Scotty.
Everybody could hear Doug as well.
Yeah,
you could hear the music. You could hear the commercial, but I couldn't hear any of that coming out. And so, Roger Rabbit,
that's really not important.
And I thought actually, I thought the same thing. Maybe if I plug in my headset, I'll pick something up. I'm hearing it through my headset. We hear both 5x5, says Chuck Thurston. Good to see you, Chuck. Vacationing and drinking scotch or whiskey and cooking steaks. So, why Uncle Dave? What? Why Uncle Dave? Says Nicole. You must have said something that raised a question.
Oh, I asked if they could hear me.
So, bourbon, says Chuck Thurston. Yeah, I've got some bourbon here that's sitting on my desk, Chuck, that you commented on. You saw it in the background of a picture that I still haven't had any of this yet. It looks like I have. But I had some before I brought it home. And with my buddy who gave this to me. So, Whistle Piggyback. I still have to drink some of this. And the only reason I don't is I'm a dad with kids at home. So I can't just light up. Boy, that was Freudian. I can't just light up And I can't just pour myself a shot at random anymore these days.
You
This
could have
as
a
good
bump
stuff,
now
says
and then.
Chuck. What's that?
You could have a bump now and then.
I could have a bump now and then.
You have enough self-control to stop at one bump.
That's right. I have all kinds of self-control.
Unless it's with
we'll
rain.
do the next best thing.
One bump is never enough with Rainy.
Oh man, does that smell sweet?
I'll tell you what I used to do on certain. There's a guy
You can
I
smell
watch.
the burn too. Go ahead, field guy.
There's
Sorry.
a guy I watch on YouTube. He's a coin collector or whatever, right? And he would have this thing. He's got this old kind of like bell. It's probably 50, 60, 70 years old.
Yeah.
And everybody would super chat him to do bell shots. Well, he did this one time. He went through a whole thing. And every time he comes on, we try to get him to do it. He goes, I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing it again.
I'll tell you what. Here we go. Here, let's step out on a limb. Anybody who sends me a $10 super chat, I'll take a shot.
It works.
Tonight. We'll see if it happens. That's up to you, chat room.
Who wants to see Scotty get wasted off his ass?
I may do fine. I may may have a problem with that one.
And I've got $100 bill burning a hole in my bank account.
Barbie D says Scotty has good control until he hits the wall. LOL. Yeah, that's the truth.
Just remember the weed stream, folks.
The weed stream? Weed stream?
Weed stream. Yeah, when you were down here, Operation
yes.
Trailer, or whatever you call it. When you were in Doug's neck of the woods that night when you and your son got high or something.
Yes, we did. It was the Mexicans. They gave me something to help me sleep, they said. So, yeah, I was a little stoned, and then we drank too much, too. And there it is. Hold on. I'm going to grab. I got to take the headset out.
Is Doug still around? Doug would be perfect for this.
There.
Yes, he would.
Doug, you need to donate some money.
Right. I just needed a little shot glass. Could you imagine doing it? May I have some more, please? No, I actually have a shot glass here. It's my Yoda. Oh, what you wish to drink?
500 shot glasses. I don't drink though. I'm just not.
So here you go, folks. It's a cheap, tawdry way to raise money, but you put a $10 super chat in there, and I will drink a shot of bourbon for each one of those. I'll either end up a very poor man tonight, or very drunk. One of the two. So you just find the super chat and you go ahead and do it. So what's that, Fieldy? Oh, there's Grumpy.
Monopoly money.
Hey,
There
field guy.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Let me borrow $10. I'll super chat him.
Well, wait a minute. You got a PayPal, right?
I do have PayPal. If you super chat, you can even use, if you go to my YouTube channel. Here, hold on. I'll send you all the links.
Hold on.
That's like, see, I'm cheap. I'll do this.
Hold on. That's easy.
If I go to my channel and I grab, let's see, donate and support my work. I got to see what it is. Oh, you go to paypal.com. Let's see if this works. Copy. Go over to this link. Bang. Boom. PayPal.com/PayPalMe/Scotty Roberts 1960, the year of my birth, which also proves to you I am old enough, yes, to have a drink. So there it is. And all proceeds will go directly to my pocket. I will donate to no charity.
I don't get many PayPal donations, but I had someone donate $20 to me just because they like my stream.
There it is.
And I haven't put it up in like a year because there's like 10 or 12
really?
people I know. Just
you haven't put your stream up? No.
I mean, I've done my stream. I don't put my PayPal out there.
Oh, okay.
I used to.
This has got dust in it, man. It's set upright on the shelf.
I just don't know how to do super chats.
There's Grumpy. I don't
Hey.
really know how to do them either. There's something about a super chat.
Well, they also go through Apple, and Apple's just like, crazy.
Isn't it like a 30%? They take a 30% cut.
35.
Something like that.
But if you use Apple, if you go through Apple Pay, it's 50%.
That's
Oh.
insane.
Well,
Yeah.
PayPal, if you just use the PayPal me, PayPal / Scotty Roberts 1960, I think most of that comes to me except their little 3.5% fee. Something
Well,
like that.
if you do the goods and services, if you do the friends and family, they sometimes charge you. If you do goods and services, they don't charge you.
Well, if you do friends and family, all you need to do is just go to and use this address. You go to PayPal. Where's that? ScottAllenRoberts.com. There. You go to that address at PayPal and then use that address. You can PayPal me directly.
Hey,
There you go. Oh, there you go. Subspace Radio put it. Oh, I put it up. I'm Subspace Radio. Still
Nice
getting
guy,
used to being at the new digs.
Oh yeah,
So.
I forgot we're not on the Odyssey.
So, no, we're not on Odyssey now.
Hey, can I plug something?
You go right away ahead, Doug, and plug.
Okay. I'm not sure if you know Kevin White. He's on I think it's Patriot Radio. He reached out to me the other day and he pretty much asked me if I wanted to come on his podcast. He wants
Nice.
he wants to spend some time talking about my
I want to do
games.
that on this podcast. Where's
Okay.
the line forming?
But I think we're gonna do a little Q&A about my journey and stuff like that. And that's supposed to be on November 2nd. I'm not exactly sure what time, but it's a podcast on Patriot Radio.
I'll have to check it out. Well, we'll do one over here too. So
Okay.
you know it.
Oh yeah.
I'm waiting for that Doug that whole thingamajig because I'm trying to lose my gut. I need inspiration, so you got to give me some inspiration.
You didn't
just
see my
looking at him is inspiring.
You didn't see my push-up video today?
I saw that.
I was at work all day.
Well,
I didn't see anything. Dave's not here, man. Oh, there
I'm
he
doing,
is.
I'm doing 3,000 push-ups for the month of November. It's for charity. St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
You're gonna eat all those little ice cream bars, those push-ups, those orange push-ups?
Yeah, man. 3,000 push-ups this month.
After you lost all that weight, I think
now.
that's a mistake. I wouldn't do that.
I might gain the 273 pounds back.
Yeah. Hopefully 3,000. Well, 3,000. Let's see. How many calories are there in one of those? If you do 3,000 of those, how many would you have to do a day? An average per day?
100.
Oh, man, that's 100 a day. Hey,
That-
I couldn't eat 3,000 of those in a
Oh
month.
man, I'd be so off of orange sherbet on the fourth one that I.
Yeah. So don't ever show me orange sherbet again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
So that's 4. I'm done.
I'm done now.
Yeah,
So-
but no, I tried. I was thinking of doing 10 push-ups a day, 10 times a day, and then I pushed myself today to see how much I could do, and I did 15 pretty easily. So I'll do that 6 times, and then end the day with 10, and then hopefully by the end of the month I can do 100 at one time.
Nice. I couldn't. I don't think even in the best shape I was in, I could never do 100 push-ups at one time.
Yeah.
Chuck Thurston says, by the way, better than piggyback. He says a better choice is Basil Hayden Subtle Smoke Bourbon.
Ladies, you're going to have to pardon the pirate in me, but as Captain Morgan would say, I wouldn't do a push-up unless I had a redhead under me.
I wouldn't do a push-up without a redhead. There it is. That's kind of like an orange sickle, isn't it? So,
Interesting.
then it falls silent.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know the meaning of that, so I can't laugh at
I
it.
got no idea what you guys are talking about.
I was gonna say something, but I didn't want to.
Field Guy is our resident 40-year-old virgin. So
I didn't want to get you a.
I'll just staple this to my head.
I'm single
I
again.
thought
I
I
can
would,
say
I
this.
would just give this a try. Just a wee bout.
Oh, did you get a $10 shot there?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I'm just
Come
trying
on,
something.
people, let's go. What's the matter with you peoples?
All right.
Come on now.
I could check my PayPal. Maybe there is a legitimate shot in there.
Roger
Let's
Rabbit said he
find
had $2 and some odd cents in his PayPal. But
That's like 6 drops.
Yeah.
got 10 magic dollars right here.
Let's see.
Magic.
What we
Real.
got. There's nothing
Even
new
if
in.
$20. Real.
Nope. Nothing new in, so I'll take
The
a
whole
drink
damn
for
thing
that.
is real.
All right, folks. Here, I'm just going to do a primer shot for the
I'll pay
my
for it.
Yodam cup of the piggyback.
I'll pay
Salute
for
the
it. No.
subspace.
Do a full shot. I'll pay for it when I come out there this week.
Yeah, I got to see the green of your money first. All right, guys.
It's a $10 bill.
Slanche-
It's not green. It's kind of
Slancheva.
orange.
Just like Chuck said, it's tasty going down, but it's got a harsh burn.
And
Oh,
his
man, that
nose
is
gets
tasty.
redder.
Yeah, my nose will get redder now. My nose is red enough. Thank you very
Scotty.
much.
Scotty, this $10's
There
for
it is.
you.
Yep, yep.
I have a couple of them.
This whole $10 bill is for you.
Ryan Gale, I will gladly pay you tomorrow for a bourbon shot today.
That's
Who
wimpy.
all knows? Yeah, there it is. There
That
it
is
I was just going to ask. Anybody know the origination of that line? I will gladly pay you on Tuesday for a hamburger today. So,
All right.
Steve,
So go ahead and do one.
I just did one.
No. You just had a little bump. I mean, do a full shot.
I'm not doing a full shot.
What the hell did I just pay you
Drink
for?
the bottle.
You didn't pay me anything.
That
You're
$10
promising
bill
to pay
is
me.
short.
Hmm?
Okay, look.
Oh, what? You're paying for one right now? It's going into my PayPal right now?
No, because I'd have to hang up to go do that.
Oh, okay. You and I will have
Here.
shots together next time you're here.
Here, on this. Okay?
All right. I believe you. I believe you. All right. Dave, there's not. If I start doing IOUs, I'm going to be in trouble tonight. So let me just say.
It's not an IOU.
You what?
It's not an IOU. I'm showing you the magic ring.
Yes.
You just
That's
have to-
that's different.
You just
Oh,
have to
you're
wait
showing
till I
me
get out
Tommy
there.
Jefferson. TJ to Tommy Jefferson. Mm.
All these
How do you
$10 bills I
spill
have.
a shot? How do you dribble a shot? Just like that. All right.
Roger Rabbit said he paid for 3 to 4 drops.
Here.
He said check your PayPal.
There it is. All right. Yeah. That'll be an interesting evening. I could come to bed tonight. Hammered. What have you been doing? I thought you did radio. I did do radio.
$10 a shot, honey.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't turn down the money. We needed it badly.
She'd be like, go down there and take a few more shots.
Damn.
This is Georgie Washington.
Doing detail on the foreground today.
What's that?
I said I started doing detail on the foreground today.
Oh, on your painting. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Grumpy Stack is back.
Hello, Grumpy.
It's still back.
Hello.
True fact, Matthew.
There it is.
Yes. True fact.
I'm having a problem with technology today.
Oh, I hate when that
It
happens.
sucks. Barbara D said she got a notice that YouTube crashed or something. I don't know. Weird nonsense. I don't know.
I hadn't heard that. YouTube crashed?
I mean, we're still on,
Maybe
but
just her own YouTube.
I don't know. YouTube is funny. It don't notify a lot of people. I did a stream last night, and like 2 people told me I never got a notification. And I go, it's YouTube sabotage.
I get that. Sometimes Scotty will put out a notice, and I don't get them.
There's Chuck Thurston.
Yeah.
My wife was a brunette, now gray. A redhead would get me shot with my own 45 Colt. Truth.
Very true. Very, very true.
That's it. Nobody's hearing you, Dave. Or at least Chuck isn't. We aren't hearing Dave at all. The other 3 are good. 5 by 5.
I hear Dave.
I hear. I can hear me.
Dave broke chat.
I hear Dave.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
No, it's testes. 1, 2, 3.
Testes. 1, 2, 1, 2. We did that at a wedding once. We were singing. A buddy of mine were singing at his sister's wedding. We used to do high-powered duets back in my college days, and we got up there. We were testing the mics while the people are finding their seats. We're going, testes 1, 2, testes 3, 4, and hoping nobody would catch on. I hear Uncle Dave, says Nicole.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Nicole, what did you think of our little after-hours ghost hunting out at the Renaissance Festival grounds on Saturday night? She came with Chuck Hendrickson. And what'd you think of that?
I
want some interesting stuff after hours.
Yeah, Thursday night got canceled, Scotty.
Oh, did it?
Yep.
Okay,
I got
we're
a
off
phone
the
call
hook.
I got a phone call this morning at like 8 a.m.
Cancel it.
Yeah, the lodge hosting it felt that it was unmasonic.
Seriously?
Yeah. I'm like, well, we're only going to be talking to brothers. Who do you think's hanging out there?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
You know, that's like when I've had events pulled, the plug pulled on me, like the Minnesota Historical Society. They don't want to get the reputation for that. Why? You don't want to get the reputation for acknowledging that something
in the state.
You don't want to get the reputation for something that we all know is real and acknowledging it through investigation. I don't understand that.
They tried to say that they didn't know that that's how we were going to be using it, and I'm like, well, that's really bizarre because it
says right on it.
Yeah, well, and that's how we planned it from day one. So,
yeah.
And apparently, their secretary, who'd been negotiating with my secretary, had been spouting off about all kinds of things that have happened recently. So, yeah,
you have a secretary.
Yeah.
Is the secretary's name Karen?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's good.
Mr. Hamilton.
Oh, hello, Mr. Hamilton.
Secretary of Treasury. Nah, that's a cop-out. They knew. Somebody just said something, and they go, oh, well, maybe
somebody got their undies in a bundle.
Yep.
It's That'd be good if people showed up. If somebody haunted them, they could say, okay, we get the press out there, we'll get the local TV stations out there. Let's go.
They don't want that kind of publicity.
Well, they're stupid. No. There's actually, and I've never went to it, right behind where I work, about 200 yards away from my work, there's actually a secret, well, it's not a secret cemetery, but it's a cemetery because it used to be a plantation in the 1850s, and they built right up to it. They put a gym, and they were going to put a movie theater, and they got right to the headstones.
I can believe it, Ryan.
And they stopped.
Ryan, sorry, go ahead, field guy. Ryan, are you at Braden?
No, he's at St. Paul 3.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, field guy. Sorry.
There's a cemetery in the woods about 200 yards away from where I work at. I've never been into it, but this is like 10 or 12 years ago. They were going to build. They built right up to it almost. They were going to put a movie theater, and then they found it. It was a plantation, so it was like 20, 25 headstones of former slaves.
Wow.
And some of the graves were actually open graves. Over time, it eroded. A few of the headstones are gone, and people were like, I keep joking when I'm at work. I was like, it's the ghost that did it. It's the ghost that did it. But I kept saying last year I'm gonna go film that.
I'm curious about the headstones of former slaves down there.
I'm curious
when I
about
was
the
in
open graves.
When I was in North Carolina, my daughter Abby and I, we went to see a little cemetery that was a slave cemetery. And because they had all been former slaves, many of them did not have inscriptions on them. They were just rocks. They were in the ground with no name on them. There was nothing. It was just a headstone, literally just a headstone. And so is that
like a head?
That usually happens, but
Now,
yeah.
Now, Dave, with the open graves, a lot of that happens because the water table is so high down here, and when they forget about the
yes, I am, Chuck.
which happens a lot. Over time, the water level going up and down, it kind of pushes the little, I guess, cover off of it.
Because there's another reason that happens. It's called vampirism, and I'm just saying.
Just saying. They didn't
zombies
cut the head off and drive a stake through the heart and turn the head upside down.
I don't know. They said they were going to fix it, but I don't know. This was like 10 years ago. It's an article online. But
Chuck,
I've never went. It's actually a bunch of woods, and there's a trail. And the funny part is, on one side there's the highway, and there's the water. On the other side, there's luxury apartments.
Oh,
but you go right. I went into the woods. It's
you could be in the luxury apartments and say, "Yeah, we're right on the beach. We just have a little cemetery in between. You just walk through the cemetery. You're at the beach." Chuck, I will say this about the whistle pig. I'd say, from what I've had already, I'm a lightweight these days because I don't drink a lot because I have kids at home. But so I don't get much opportunity. But I'd say 2 more of those would put me in an unmanageable situation, meaning I'd have a little less cohesion to my words. I would have a little more. I would have a little less inhibition about what I'd say. And you give me 4 more of those, where I've had 6 of these, that'd be it. That'd be all the shit wrote.
My webcam always works. I just never turn the damn thing on when I'm on my stream. That's all.
Sarah, when it comes to vampire movies, I'm very old school. I like the vampire movies from the 30s and such.
I do too. You send me a little Andrew Jackson and I'll get out of control.
He'll take 2 more shots.
Yeah,
yeah.
He'll pretend he's Raymond, or not Raymond, but Aaron Burr, and do another shot.
Chuck, there was that just hit me. Do a little Aaron Burr and get another shot.
Aaron Burr never got prosecuted for that either.
I know.
Never. You can't get away with that nowadays. You just go up to somebody, let's have a duel.
Well, isn't that back? Dueling was basically legal back then.
Yeah.
So
and Andrew Jackson,
in this state.
Andrew Jackson did a fair number of duels himself.
We need to bring back dueling.
Yeah. With swords. Weapon of choice. Yeah.
Screwdriver to the neck. That's my weapon of choice.
I'll use my sword.
That's hardly a duel. Choose your screwdriver.
Uncle Dave.
What?
I would not duel you.
I do have a reputation.
I wouldn't be able to unsheath it.
See, the problem with that is you can't take out Santa Claus. That's a sin.
That's right.
We had a couple of
really
our fighters.
Santa.
A couple of our fighters back in the day. I don't know if you remember Jim Ball, Scotty.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so he and his brother had been out at the bar. They had previously been at the fight studio working on a fight, so their weapons were in the trunk of their car. They got into it with some guys in the bar, and they said, let's just leave. So they extracted themselves from the bar and walked to their car. These guys came out behind him and pulled out their little switchblades and clicked them open and said, "You want to fight?" And they said, "Oh, a knife fight."
Sure,
And
a
they
knife fight.
popped the latch on their trunk and reached in the trunk and both pulled out rapiers and daggers and said, "You want to dance? We can dance." These guys looked at these blades and went, "Oh, let me just put my pocket knife away."
Here, let me fold that back up and put it in my pocket.
I had a guy in Texas one time pull a knife on me, and I looked at him and I pulled my sword out and placed it on his chest, and I said, "You can walk down this blade. You can poke me as many times as you'd like."
That's probably worth more than $5, field guy. Yeah,
it is.
Isn't Jim Ball the same Jim Ball where we got the phrase "right in the aorta"?
Yes. He's the one that stabbed Tim Rizicki in the heart.
Yep.
Ooh, good Lord.
Okay, I'm gonna have to respond to that one.
Didn't actually puncture the heart because the sternum is a thick piece of cartilage, and but did puncture the heart sac, and there were EMTs and ambulances and police all around. It happened really fast, and they were all like, "What? Why are you guys all standing around with swords?" "Oh, well, it's a sword school."
It's a sword school.
I like playing with stuff.
Yeah, I like playing with sharp objects.
I like stabbing people.
And that was a case where both of them had been fighting all evening, because we do round tables, somebody will get in and you fight until you lose, and then somebody else comes in and fights, and this Tim had been fighting for a long time, and he was dehydrated, and both of them should have sat down, and both of them were still fighting, and he just stepped into the blade.
Don't you notice that most accidents like that would happen not because you were in your prime condition and ready to roll? It was usually you were tired or it was an off thing. Do you know why I got stabbed doing a sword fight with Rob Lane? Because he picked up a blade that wasn't his blade and he hadn't tested. Just before we walked on stage, he grabbed a different blade and it had a razor sharp. It was razor sharp about 6 inches in from the tip.
Which is where it should be.
And but not for dueling on stage.
No. It's what we call a live steel.
Yeah, live steel. He grabbed a blade with live steel, and that's how I got. I got this nice scar.
Hey Roger, I do not need any medicine. It's not that sword I was unsheathing.
But I'm ching. There you go, field guy. There you go.
Yes,
that's a machete.
That's correct, Sarah. That is correct.
This is from Nam.
I'm thinking of Tim Roth's character in Rob Roy, where he said to the guy fighting at the beginning of the movie, he said, "Oh, surely if I needed a cleaver, yours would be the one I would hire." You know. So, Chuck Thurston, I don't know if you're picking us back up or if you totally froze up out there. Right in the heart sack. Ouch. Yes, sir, Philip. So, yeah, we had the saying after that. The best way to a man's heart is, what was it? The best way to a man's heart is through his chest. Oh, reloaded. Good thing, Chuck. Good to have you back. So, yeah, none of my swords are down here. Sam's got one of my swords. Wait, hold on. I might be lying.
My cousin's got a bunch of swords on his wall. And one time he was like 13 or 14 and went to his house and he took it. He went, and I wasn't even paying attention. Came this close to get me right here.
Arrow.
Got to be careful.
I just happened.
Okay.
He was a kid.
This is not a real sword. It just looks like one.
I have several garbage cans full of swords.
The year I got my son Sam, the Sting sword from Lord of the Rings, Samwise Gamgee's. I'm sorry, Frodo's sword, and he had Sting, and it looked really nice. It was a nice replica. I got this at the same time. This is Aragorn's Strider sword, but this one came from China, and nothing wrong with the Chinese people. I love the Chinese people. The government kind of sucks, but the Chinese people are cool. But this particular sword, I got it, and the handle is loose. I could have sent it back, but it would have taken who knows how long. But this is Aragorn's sword, his Strider's sword. And so all I use this for is decoration on the wall. I would win no duels or battles bringing this into battle. What was that?
I don't know, but I'm getting a battery may run out soon. That's really wild. Oh, I'm plugged in now.
So see, this spins, and I could fix it up and all of that, but it looks pretty on the wall. So that just goes on the wall with my other swords. My Scottish backsword, basket hilt, is up in the garage. Hasn't been brought down in here yet. My Sam has my German rapier, and my other rapier, dueling rapier, is up in the garage too, I do believe. So I don't have any swords done, but I have my musket. I've got a little box that has the lock mechanism, which I've had off of that musket for about 5 years.
I've got everything kind of discombobulated right now because I'm rearranging warehouse spaces and everything, but here's a few that I have here.
What do you got at home? So you've got a few right there. I always liked that big ivory handled one right in the front of yours. Just massive for a rapier. And, you had your broadswords, and then they went to their transitional broadswords, which were a little finer, but not quite rapier yet. And then your rapier.
Yeah.
Hey, Paige. How you doing? Here I am. Howdy, she says. It's good to see you.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to jump off the panel because my laptop's getting low. I got to charge it.
No,
I don't want it to make that weird alien sound again because I never hear it. I don't want it to go beep.
Well, that came from you? Oh, yes.
Oh, did you hear it already?
Yeah, we heard a big sound.
Oh, yeah.
We just didn't know where it came from.
Laptop.
I thought I caused it.
No.
All right, field guy. Man, it's good to see you.
Like
I haven't seen you for a while.
Okie dokie. I'll go back and chat.
No, thank you, Paige.
All right.
All right. See you, Fieldy. Let's see. So, Chuck Thurston, if you're still out there, I already feel it a little bit. It's all right up in here, just from 2 shots. So I after 4 shots, I think I would be funny. I could be a better comedian at 4 shots. Imagine what 6 shots will do.
You better check your PayPal.
This is 96.56 proof, 100% rye pot distilled, aged 6 years in American oak barrels. Boom. Hey, it's just you and me now. Where'd Doug go? So
I don't know.
He's been having to. He's back. No, he's not PayPal.
Back. What?
Well, let me check my PayPal. I can check. So it usually pops up on my screen. We'll see here. No. Carly sent me $2.61. That's about a quarter of a shot. Carly, if you're out there,
add all those little ones up.
Yeah, just add all the. There's only one little one in there. So Carly and Roger, here, this one's for you guys. Let's do it. Here's Yoda. Drunk you are. Alcohol you drink. All right. Put that back over there. There. I gave you a half instead of a quarter. So here's to you, Roger and Carly. It's tasty. I will say that.
It's not the Irish.
Not quite the Irish.
And it's
a
definitely
little burnier than the Irish. So don't go for the one, for the one, for the one. What?
It's so much better than the Canadian.
So much better. What was it we did with 10 Seconds of Harmony? One of our bits was we were trying to determine what kind of beer we should have that night. How about German beer? No, we've had too much German beer lately. Polish beer? No. How about, I know, Dutch beer? And we were like, no, gross. We will not be drinking Dutch beer. We didn't say gross, but
Gross.
Dutch beer. And that led into our Amsterdam bit. Speaking of Dutch, I was in Amsterdam once. You were? What were you doing there? I don't know. Just walking down the street, and I got a gnat or a mosquito or something there. It was a big gnat or a small mosquito.
It warmed up the other day. The mosquitoes, hey, it's spring again. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Spring's a lot shorter than I remember.
Yes. Jeremy Hansen is in the room. Welcome, Jeremy Hansen. Good to see you, brother. I'm not usually this quiet. I don't like quiet airtime. That's why I talk so much.
He's a little verbose.
Quiet airtime means you're forgetting something or you're doing something wrong. There is. It's right here, and I can't get it. It's going. Oh, I got one of them. There's his carcass, Barbie D. So I got one.
Someplace down there, there's a plate full of food that the kids have left behind.
There's something. They found a frog down here in the basement today. So we're thinking, how did it get in here?
Yeah. How the hell did it?
Rainy thinks
the front door open?
Rainy thinks it may have come in from one of the big outside plants. She had the big outside plants and the big pots that she's brought in. And that perhaps
somebody else I saw, they had carried their outdoor pots in and found this large thing living in the pot.
Nice.
Yeah, they were quite freaked out.
Barbie D thinks I'm seeing things. I'm not seeing things yet. I'm feeling things, though. And I haven't had all that much. There was one time, I was going to say to Chuck Thurston, there was one time where, Dave, I don't think you were there, but you remember the halftime rec.
Oh, yeah.
And we all used to go down to the halftime rec down at REC, not WRECK. Halftime rec was a little pub in St. Paul. And we...
let's just say it was run by the IRA.
Yeah, little IRA behind that pub. We didn't call it a pub, you call it a pub. And it's the little pub that you saw in the movie Grumpy Old Men, which was filmed in Minnesota, with Walter Matthau and Meredith Burgess Meredith, and dyslexic thinking. It's like, what do you get when you cross a, you know this joke, I'm sure, Uncle Dave. What do you get when you cross a dyslexic theologian with a veterinarian philosopher? You get a guy that stays up all night. No, I said it wrong. I already said it wrong. An insomniac philosopher with a dyslexic theologian. You end up with a guy that stays up all night long contemplating whether there is or is not a dog. There it is. Boom. Boy, a long lead up for that delivery.
That was a shaggy
What's
dog.
my favorite whiskey?
Did somebody ask that, or are you just shifting the subject?
Somebody asked that.
Oh, okay.
Hang on. Let Uncle Dave entertain you.
Where is it? Mine's a Balvenie. Scotch whiskey. Caribbean cask, aged in rum barrels. Whiskey aged in rum barrels. Just think of it. It's my whole life. It's all wrapped up into one wonderful little drink.
So, Jeremy, you want to know what's my favorite whiskey? Well,
easy, lad. Don't break a bottle. Let's not break a bottle now.
I got to get my headset in. There we go.
Let's not break a bottle now.
Hey, Morgan Snow. Now, here we go. What's my favorite whiskey? Well, let's find out, shall we? Here, Dave. Keep getting caught on the box here.
Oh, you're gonna drop that off your lap and onto the floor and be crying.
I will not drop it off my lap onto the floor. I've got a Guinness in there. How about that?
I don't even know why.
Let's see. What do we got here? This one is, well, this is the upper tier of the lower rung. I've got a 15-year-old Glenlivet single malt Highland Scotch.
Well, at least it's 15.
Glenlivet. People think Glenlivet is okay. And pardon me, no offense to anybody out there. It's usually the uneducated believe that Glenlivet is a good Scotch.
It is a
Okay.
Speyside. I'll give you that. It's a Speyside.
It's a Speyside. Spey, as we used to say. I've got a Glenfiddich Special Reserve, which is a 12-year-old, but I was given this bottle about 8 years ago, so this is actually a 20-year-old. No,
Doesn't age in the bottle, but at least it's somewhat legal.
that's right. Oh, look, I've got another Glenlivet. Oh, this is one Sam brought this for me not long ago.
We have to do some
That's a
education.
12-year-old. I said, Sam, I appreciate it, but we've got to work on your scotches.
There's a reason there's so much Glenlivet there, because
That's right. Now
nobody
this one's
drinks
a
it.
pretty good one. This is a Lagavulin,
Ah,
and this is a 16-year-old. Here, let me get that label around to you. There's a 16-year-old.
to be I.
What, it brings a tear to my eye. There's a Lagavulin, and these are all in a box because I haven't set up my liquor cabinet yet since we've moved.
Do you have a Glenmorangie?
There's a Longmorn with no cork and a disintegrated cork in the bottom.
That's
So
not
I don't
good.
think I'll be drinking that one. I would. Some people would look at that. There are some people that would look at that and go, "Oh, it's perfectly
Yes,
fine."
getting it through your teeth, lad.
Just yeah, that's right. Pour it through your hanky. Let's see. I've got another 12-year Glenlivet here.
Yeah.
I have a lot of Glenlivet. See, I don't buy Glenlivet. I'm given Glenlivet. Oh, I hear you like Scotch.
Here's some Johnson Scotch. It says Scotch on the bottle.
Okay, note the dust on that one. Somebody brought this to me at a Paradigm Symposium. The last one of those we did was, and I think it was the 2014, I seem to remember. 2013, I'm sorry, at the St. Paul Union Depot. So 2013. So this is about almost 10 years ago this was given to me. And we did crack it because we had to taste it. But somebody said, "Oh, I hear you love Scotch." And they gave me Four Roses single barrel. And it was okay. I don't think this has been opened since I cracked it with them. Curious. Oh, I love corks.
That's a lovely sound, though.
It is. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey is what that is.
Oh,
I was going to say, this smells almost like the pig barrel or the piggyback, but that's because it's a bourbon. Okay, we got a little bourbon going on here.
It's someone from Kentucky wearing a kilt. That's
right. Kentucky in a kilt. Oh, this is another one. I hear you like Scotch. And it's like, Tomatin, what the hell is that? I've never heard of that before. It is a Highland single malt Scotch whiskey.
Is it made by Johnson Brothers?
No Johnson Brothers label on there. 12-year. It's a 12-year. It was finished in Spanish sherry casks, which makes you go, maybe.
Maybe. What year? How old?
It was a 12-year, aged for 12 years.
Well, that's not bad. It's a good taste
before it was bottled. And this was given to me, I want to say, on my 50th birthday. And I'm now 62, going on 62. So it's 12 squared. So
my experience is a 12-year-old can be a fickle whiskey.
It's interesting. It's not like an 18-year-old. It's not like a 21-year-old, but it's...
There's no wisdom there.
I know this isn't my full collection because I've got a bottle of Jameson somewhere. I've got...
I was recently turned on to the Redbreast, and I think the Redbreast is an excellent Irish.
Yes, it's all right. I haven't had a lot of it. This is Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey Woodford Reserve, Distillers Select, LeBrotten Graham. There you go.
Well,
There's your
you have a
little
lot of-
Kentucky Woodford.
you have a lot of bourbon in your house.
If I
lad.
remember right, this is harsh. Well, see, I buy my Jameson, I buy my Glenmorangie, which you see there's no bottles of Glenmorangie. Somebody might deduce, well, that you must not like it. No, there's no bottles left of the Glenmorangie.
It gets drank a lot. It's very
like
peaty.
I like a Belveni. A
Yep.
Belveni double barrel. You know what we used to like? Remember Cardhu? Cardhu? Cardhu. And we used to drink that at the God, I can't even picture where we were. It was somewhere with Clantartan or the
Aye.
I don't remember. Then of course I've got a little jar that Steve Clark sent me, which I haven't had much
Was
of.
that the
this, Steve.
blackberry? Is that the blackberry?
This is the Blackberry Old Smoky Moonshine. that
I
Steve
have to
Clark
say I
sent
like
me.
the blackberry.
It's pretty good.
I
Bourbon
rather
is
enjoy
meant to be sipped on the rocks while smoking a cigar and having intelligent conversation. I agree with you, Jeremy
Completely.
Henson. Completely agree with you. I say in my own bio that I wrote years ago, and it's still up, I think, on my Facebook or somewhere. I say I am a how do I put it? I can't remember my own bio, the words I used, but I said I am something like I am a I love a good scotch, but I'm not, given to inebriation. Oh, I like a good single malt Highland scotch, but not as a tool of inebriation, but rather for joyous repast with my brother wizards. So that's what we like to do with, let's see, is it even in my bio? Is there even a bio on Facebook anymore? It was my Facebook bio as where I had pasted that. Oh, here, you know where it is. You know what starts happening to me too, folks? Dave knows this. The more I drink, the more I start getting an affectatious Scottish accent or Irish.
Oh, that's true. You know what used to happen to me when I was in the fraternity? The boys used to say, "Oh, we have to cut Dave off. He's greeting people." I'd be up at the front door. Hey, welcome to the party, and I'm greeting people and taking their coats and everything. I become Mr. Host, and they're like, "We have to cut him off."
Here it is. Here it is. It goes like this. This is my bio. I think it's in here. It's in this. I value a good pipe, a stout pint, and consider myself a purist when it comes to single malt Highland Scotch, which for me is not a tool of inebriation, but rather an enlightened repast to be shared with colleagues and like-minded pedagogues of philosophy and hobnobbing banter. That's what it was. So, Brother Wizards, I've used in there as well. I like that when I go on an official radio interview and they want to read my bio, I always put Brother Wizards in there. So I'm a contemplative, spiritual, gregarious man of consideration who values intelligence, wit, and justice. While I'm wholly affable, I do not shy away from a good fight and have had a few brawls in my day, whether on my behalf or in defense of another. And were times different, would most probably be known wide and abroad as an expert swordsman. However, in keeping with my paradoxical nature, I prefer employing words over weapons, wit above profanity, spirituality above religion, stalwartness above inconstancy. And as I grow older, my burgeoning jaded cynicism is wholly tempered by my desire not to become an ass. My humor is wry, my mind is fertile, my love is deep, and so on. That's part of my bio. I thought that was worth sharing. I've got, I can't find the broadcast. There it is. There it is. So Morgan Snow, good to see you over there. Rudy Kessler again. Good night, y'all. He says, got to get up early. Good night, Rudy. Good to see you, brother.
Good seeing
Jeremy
you, man.
Henson says the Irish have some spicy whiskey. but none of them taste alike. Ain't that the
That's very
truth?
true. That's very true.
So here you go. Here's my desktop now. It looks like this. It's just
That'll make people happy when they come down in the morning. What the hell happened here?
What'd you do last night? So and I just unboxed these, or just got these down in here today because I've cleared out the whole room. You'll be impressed. They cleared out the whole room. The master bedroom next door has not a thing in it.
Oh, we can paint.
Start painting it tomorrow. Do the walls first, and then we'll do the.
I've
floor.
got clinic appointments all day tomorrow, so
I'm just gonna roller it on.
But I am gonna swing out and pick up paint in the afternoon.
All right, I've still got 2 gallons of the floor red. Ow! I just got a cramp in my hamstring.
Careful.
No, I stretched my leg funny.
Careful.
You ever do that? You ever stretch your leg funny?
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, the older I get, the funnier my leg stretching gets by accident. So
heard a great joke the other day.
In the box.
Heard a great joke the other day. You can tell a lot by a woman's feet as to how much she likes you.
Oh yeah? How is that, Dave?
If they're up behind her ears, she likes you a lot.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Ba-dum-bum.
Ching. Lagavulin. This one's dead. This is dead.
That's for the
look
spirits.
at this. Look at this. Because the cork disintegrated and fell in.
Did it turn to gel? Oh yeah, it's cloudy and when it dissolves the cork.
Yes, that's Longmorn Highland Scotch whiskey, a product of Scotland. I wanted to see if this was Speyside or not. Can't read it.
Speyside, that's the family.
Hold on.
That's where the Gordon clan is out of. Is this along the Spey there?
Hold on. Longmorn single malt. An old chapel once stood on the site of the Longmorn distillery. The name means place of the holy man. The way the whiskey is made is not changed in more than 4 centuries. No, I'm sorry, more than a century. It looked like a 4.
Every drop distilled through a true Scotsman.
It's right. And it's a highly prized today, as it was long ago, matured in oak casks for the 15 years. Longmorn is one of the truly great Highland whiskies. So says the label. There's a government warning on it, even. If you're pregnant, please do not drink our product. That's always savory. Let's see. This is just going to go back in here temporarily until I get the liquor cabinet set up, which is over there, but not filled yet. There we go. All right. All that alcohol can stay right there.
We are reaching the end, I fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten many takers. Perhaps we should promote that someday for a Friday night show. And for a certain Scotty, strain it through some cheesecloth and drink it. I thought about that, Steve. I
Just
really
strain
have.
it through your teeth. Be a real man.
Now it hasn't been corked in years, obviously.
Yeah,
it's probably. Oh, it doesn't even smell like scotch.
Yeah, all the alcohol's evaporated away.
It smells a bit like pesh. So
very well could be.
I won't be drinking that. Am I going to build a wet bar?
Scotty, he's a brave man, but not that brave.
But I'm not that brave. I'm nay that brave. So a wet bar. No, not so much down here. But I do have a liquor cabinet. That'll have to suffice for my wet bar. All right. Hey, look what time it is. 10:59.
That's why I said it's time to be locking up the doors.
It's time to lock up the doors
You
and
don't have
tip
to
the
go home,
stools
but you
upside
gonna
down.
stay here.
And in honor of the old halftime rec owners, who we believe were thoroughly Irish Mafia IRA guys, they always used to sing when the Tim Malloys were there, and they did bloody Irish music. They had armored cars and tanks and guns came to take away our sons, but every man must stand behind the man behind the wire. So, yeah, those were the good days. Then I wish I had a penny whistle that I could play. That would be play the
Or
Irish
Kieran.
national anthem.
Kieran's, where every bartender was named Sean, because that's the paperwork
Sean.
they had.
That's it. That's it. Exactly.
How long
do
will you
you
be in town,
remember-
Sean? Oh, I'm only here for about 6 months till things calm down back home.
That's right. That's it. They were all Irish. So, and Kieran had a nice establishment, folks. Kieran's Irish Pub. Then he built the Liffey over in St. Paul, and then the local over down on Hennepin Avenue, and they imported the bar from Ireland. So, so yeah, that was those were good times. But at the end of every show, the Tim Malloys, the lights would come up in the house and the bar, and they would they'd play the Irish national anthem on the tin whistle, and man, it was haunting. But everybody would stand if they knew what they were doing and they knew what it meant. Everybody would stand, and a fist would go in the air.
And if you didn't stand, someone would grab your shoulder and pull you up.
Grab your shoulder and pull you up. So
Yeah.
as they played the Irish national anthem on the tin whistle, your fist would go in the air. Yeah, it was amazing. Amazing times. All right, guys, it's that
where's
time.
the king at? Oh,
Where's the king? Yeah, long live the king. Yeah.
I remember Sean taking me there, and he goes, "None of your royalist bullshit tonight. We're going to the left."
And then he'd look at you, he'd look back, and you go, "I'm serious. I'm serious. No loyalist bullshit." So good night, Jeremy Henson, Nicole McClellan. Good to see you tonight again. Matthew Sainsbury, Barbie D, Morgan Snow, Steve Clark, Field Guy. And if I've missed you, it's only because I've missed you, not because I've omitted you. Dave, good night.
Sarah.
See you, brother.
All
Talk
right,
to you
good night.
soon. All right, folks, that's it for tonight. We're done. We're done, and I'm going to go to bed or something. So thanks for being here. Thanks for giving me your time. And I appreciate it more than you know. And so I'm looking for, and I keep forgetting I'm not in my program, so I don't have a way to end the show tonight other than the Sunday morning show, Intro with Rainey. So on that note, I'm just going to tell you all, live long and prosper.